Oh no.
Good. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series here on Apex Racing TV. We're at the Barber Motorsports Park in the United States, in Leeds, in Alabama, no less. Andrew Woodhouse, who's from Leeds, England, alongside Adam Bath and Alex Simpson. And Adam, Barber is a great, underrated circuit that not many people in the world of motor racing who are sort of, you know, not the hardcore fans, they don't know about this place, but it's a great racing circuit.
Yeah, a bit like Leeds. Yeah, I do like this one. Bit of an interesting one. Kevin Ford has been speaking about it before in our notes about how it's a really tough track to crack. A lot of patience needed, and you've got to pick your overtakes at the right time. So we'll see who can master that in the 1 hour race we've got coming up.
Yeah, as usual, the Ford Mustangs and the Mazda MX-5s going into battle. Alex, giant spiders notwithstanding, this is a good place for a race, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a good circuit. I do like it here. I've had some great races in the IndyCar, so it's short and it is difficult to get moves done, and I think that will even go for the MX-5s tonight.
Yeah, not really many straightaway sections to speak of, but longer than just sort of a few hundred yards, so it's definitely worth keeping an eye on that. 3.83 kilometre course with 16 corners, and we're just about to see exactly how the drivers are going to tackle this circuit with our track guide. Well,
brilliant track guide, wasn't it?
Yes. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. No track guide, yes, of course. So, I tell you what, if we can find somebody who's going through, if we find someone who's coming on for a lap, maybe Alex can take us through the lap. Find anybody who's actually on the way through the last corner. Rob Hartley, Alex. There you go.
Try to find Rob. Oh, I got a big list of names and I can't find him on it. Oh, come on, where is he?
Rob Hartley.
Yeah,
it's coming out.
Never mind.
I've got him. I've got him.
Well, we've just been through the first two corners.
Yeah.
Tell you what. It's a good start, isn't it? Sorry about this, everybody. Right, we need to find somebody at the start of the lap. We can do our own track guide when somebody decides to do a qualifying lap.
One person who looks like a starting one is Brandon Whitworth. However, I fear he might just be about to complete one as he comes over the line. The 1:34.4 coming into the first corner now.
Well, it's still going, Alex, if you want to carry on.
Yep, so through the first turn, sweeping in. Important to get a good line, not overshoot, because this long right hander that he's just gone through, you need to get good drive out of there. So many lines you can take through there. Pop over the crest, the car might get a little bit light, downhill braking into what is one of the tightest hairpins we have on the service. Just use the camber of the curb on the inside there. It can help pull the car around, helps you get back on the power a little bit earlier. It's quite bumpy going into the next chicane. Obviously a blind apex on the way in, and you kind of sort of aim to use a whole bunch of the curb on the left, as Brandon does. And again, you want to hook the right-hand tyres onto the curb on the right so that the camber pulls you around. Brandon just missing that a little bit there. Through one of the high-speed chicanes here as well. The Mustang, no real issues through there. And yeah, we get ourselves ready for the sort of the roller coaster section. Again, you want to use these curbs to help pull the car around over the crest at the top. A little bit of a correction there, and then into seems to be like a corner that never ever ends. It's so easy to get an awful lot of understeer through here. Compromised line on the way in so that you can get a better exit through your final corner. Oh, Brandon all over the shot in the final corner. And it was a good lap until then.
Yeah, and he...
Days 11th.
Days 11th, yeah. No, doesn't even show that he's completed a lap there at all. Bit weird. You know, I think that was an identical time, was it? I think that was an identical time to his previous one.
There you go.
He was 1:34.46 before, wasn't he? And now he's 1:34.46 again. There we go.
There you go.
Right. So thanks to Alex for that. We'll bring him in later on. He's going to be just doing the cameras for us for the rest of the meeting. But Adam, on to the qualifying session then here. We're into the last few minutes. Anything you've noticed out there that interests you?
Looking at the current order then, we're running through it. Not too many surprises either. Mike Dam currently sits on provisional pole. Then second Aero Nom, Clint Vigus third, Kevin Ford fourth, Stephen Thomas fifth. That is pretty much our set top five now, including
I think
Pasquale
Vigus has done a good lap there, hasn't he, to get up in third. His qualifying's not been fantastic since he's come back, so...
Trying to get back into the swing of things, isn't
yeah,
it?
it seems like it. Iannucci, fresh from the win on Saturday as well with Mike Dam in the Porsche. A little off the pace compared to his normal standards, but I'm sure he'll... still got a chance to set another lap time out there if he wants. Quite a short circuit here, quite a short lap, about 90 seconds, 93 seconds for the qualifying. Interesting to note, actually, Adam, that the Mazdas are very evenly matched with the leading. They're only over 3 seconds, 4 seconds slower than the leading Mustangs.
Yeah, one of the slowest Mustangs, Scott Brooks, is just under a second ahead of the fastest Mazda in Rob Hartley. They do start in this series a little bit of a way apart, so we're not going to have too many issues when we get the race going of Mazdas and Mustangs colliding. It's just when they're going to be lapped later on in the race where the Mazdas all of a sudden get a little bit extra pace on the Mustangs, similar to Cota in the second half of the lap, where we saw that a few weeks ago. So we could be seeing the same here, especially through the fast chicanes where the Mustang's got to heave the car through those fast S's.
Yeah, and it didn't look too bad, did it, when we were on board with Brandon Whitworth? It looked like the change of direction wasn't too bad. So yeah, I think those guys will be okay. Seen David Payton starting his flying lap, goes through turn one nicely. Two's quite a long corner, but the Mazda's more nimble than the Mustang, so it will handle that better. No understeer at all there, really, for David Payton through the flat-out kink of what he's effectively... I think it's turn 3, I think it counts as, but really a corner as such. Through the hairpin. Good line, but he's all over the place, and he's round. He's hit the Armco barrier on him. Well, he did hit the curb, and we saw how it pitched the car into an uncontrollable spin.
The best way to win the qualifying session. Don't want to transfer that across to the race either. I'm sure we'll be fine.
Currently 7th, which isn't too bad at all. It's not maybe quite where he'd expect to be, David Payton. So, I mean, last season, remember, he was fighting for victories quite often, wasn't he?
He was. We've only got the... we've got both the Rolex here today, have we? Or we just got the one?
Yeah, we do indeed.
Both of them. There we go. Good to see you again. Just before we run you through the grid, I do have the championship standings to hand. Unfortunately, we can't get them up on screen, I don't think. But as it's a full pace lap, we've got plenty of time on our hands here. So I'll run you through the state of play going to round 6. Mike Dam, pole sitter, championship leader. Dam Motorsports lead the way in the Drivers' Championship. Only a few points in it, though. 80, 81, 82, 83. 4 points difference between him and Team Bushfink Racing in second place with Aero Nom. And Kevin Ford for Ford Racing in third. Quite a bit of a way now, so breakaway pack at the top of the championship standings between Dam and Nom, and then Kevin Ford in third. The privateer, Clint Vigus, starting third on the grid today, fourth in the championship. not too far away from Kevin Ford either, within 7 or so points. Then Shake and Bake Racing, Tyler Shiflett in 5th. Team Potatoes, Pasquale Iannucci starts 6th on the grid today, currently 6th in the championship as well, 4 points away. 5 points away, I should say. And 7th, Russell Riddick, 2 points ahead of Driftline Racing's Russell, ahead of Stephen Thomas. And then Matthew Catila in 9th and Leon Wright in 10th. That is the state of the play in the Pro Mustang class. And into the Open, it's Mike Monaghan in the lead there for Booligan Racing. BTR Motorsports, Jennifer McDonald 2nd. And then Wharton Racing's Corey Wharton 3rd and RFC Racing's Robert Briston 4th. Then we'll move over to the Mazdas, excuse me. And then leading the way there is the Madhouse Racing number 2 car, Rob Hartley. Asbury Motorsports 1, Cherish Fenkian. John Allen in 3rd, 3 points behind. Madhouse Racing 1, Brian Holmes in 4th. And 5th is Jeff Jacobs. And in the open category in the Mazdas, it's Zachary Rubin leading the way there. He has a 14-point advantage over DC Motorsports, Dan Carrido. Jab Motorsports, or JAB, Joe Boyd in 3rd, 1 point ahead of Chris Torman, and Mike Key in 5th. That is the state of play in the championship as we get the green flag and we roll away on the formation lap here at Barber.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one, I think. I can see it being a tense race. It might be a different race to what we've become accustomed to. Here, in that I think with the track as it is, Adam, with overtaking being at a premium, with slipstream also not really plentiful, I think it's going to be just down to who's the quickest and not pack racing again, which I think is actually. It's the best kind of racing for me in this series because it really shows how the drivers play the strategy and how they drive the cars around the circuit. I know it sounds a silly thing to say, but it's really about who's extracting that extra couple of tenths.
Well, Kevin Ford did say that this is a track where we do seem to see the fenders come out a little bit, and maybe that is because it is very difficult to overtake around here and the drivers having to try and invent places to get moves done. So yeah, we'll wait and see what can happen.
Getting the elbows out, getting the chrome horn out potentially as well.
Robbins Racing, checkers of records. We definitely saw that last night in the Daytona 500.
Oh yeah.
Some people sitting on either side of the fence. I'm probably sat centre in the middle towards Dylan wrecking him. I'd say that I probably would have done the same if I was Austin Dillon and the Daytona 500 was up for grabs. I probably would do it.
I think I'd have wrecked it, but I think it's difficult. He definitely didn't do it on purpose. I think those people are saying, oh, he wrecked him on purpose. I think that's a bit silly, but because I don't think you do that at 200 miles an hour, to be honest. But anyway, we might get to that a bit later on. But here we go, right in the here and now. Round 6 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series is underway. Mike Dam gets us going here. Green flag flies. Look at Clint Vigas. He's got a run. Nom's on the grass. Dam's wide. He's very wide. He's on the dirty part of the track. And he's lost the lead, Mike Dam. He's off the course, Mike Dam. He's going to lose second place as well, Adam. And he still can't get the Mustang under control.
He's trying to sort himself out, doesn't he? As we go into the hairpin here, looks like he might just have regained control.
Iannucci versus Thomas was very close indeed as well. They go through there, we'll look at the MX-5s. Their start coming up. Rob Hartley versus Jim List on the front row. Good qualifying by List. Just 1.5 tenths off of Hartley. List is wide. He's on the grass as well. That's happened to me before in the race here. Qualified in 4th place, got up to 2nd by the first corner. Oh, Leon Wright's around. What's happened?
Well, that's down at the triple chicane, the back end of the circuit. Have a look and see what happened to him here.
Oh, he's been hit.
Not his fault. Not his fault.
car 00, Raymond Bader Jr. He'll be going to see the stewards, I'm sure, for that one. Dived in there to the triple chicane a bit too hard, and yeah, taking him out. But leading the way now is Aero Nom, and ironically, Adam, it was he that made the mistake, really going wide onto the grass, and he was lucky he didn't come a cropper and end up spinning off.
Amazing how those first few corners work. Sometimes it looks like it's completely gone wrong for you, and then you end up coming out on top. Looked like Mike Dam was going to have the lead, then he ran out wide, going through the long right-hander that Aero Nom is currently going through at the moment, and then he ended up in all sorts of issues. He was lucky that he didn't lose any more places. Third position is still pretty comfortable for our championship leader, the Dam Motorsports car.
Yeah, I never thought I'd turn out, I'd hear myself saying this, but I'm not quite sure what Mike Dam was doing in those few corners. He was all over the shop.
Pressure at the start. Cold tyres.
Jim List getting into the lead. The MX-5s and, making that stick to the end of lap 1. So Jim List is at the head of the list. Ahead of Rob Hartley. And then it's John Allen in 3rd, Brian Holmes in 4th, 5th is Zachary Rubin, 6th David Payton. 7th is Joe Boyd, Dan Carrido in 8th, 9th is Jeff Jacobs, and 10th is Travis Fenke. Travis Fenke down from 6th to 10th. Car incident involving car 77 and 00 is going to be under review. Leon Wright versus Raymond Bader Jr. of course.
Get along for that one. I think it could be a pretty cut and dry one as well.
Yeah, I don't see that being a difficult one for you. That's not a nail, but that's not a Kimi Räikkönen, Max Verstappen type decision, is it?
But the good thing for both, or for Raymond, is that if he gets the penalty, then now that he's got the 55 minutes to work his way back up through the field, so
yeah,
get out of the way now.
Yeah, exactly that. And I wonder if some of these guys are running the car really, really low, because I'm seeing a lot of sparks, and I'm seeing cars bottoming out a little bit, and I wonder if that's going to hurt them later on.
It is an old surface, isn't it? We see, with surfaces like this, and trying to think of other tracks like the Slovakia ring before it got resurfaced. The cars would either take air or they would be bottoming out quite a bit until that got resurfaced. And you can see the way the tarmac cambers going into these corners. That really does contribute to the sparks and the bottoming out that we are getting in both of these cars.
Great shots as we go through these fast chicanes, really terrific. Great speed and precision from these drivers. A 1 hour race as well, if anyone's just joining us. Thank you for making us part of your wee hours of Tuesday morning. If you're in Europe, in America, Monday evening, welcome.
Well done for getting Monday out of the way.
Andrew Woodhouse and Adam Bath, we've managed to do that as well. Alex Simpson is on the cameras today, so he's taking a little break from the commentary. Fair enough.
Scott Brooks versus Raymond Bader Jr. This battle won't go on forever, and the reason why those positions will keep changing is because he's coming to the pits.
Well, he's got black flags, that's why.
Drive through penalty.
The stewards, unsurprisingly, decided it was him at fault for the collision, and you know what? Fair enough. I think that one, not an issue at all in my book. Jim List leading the way. He's starting to take some time out of Hartley now, and this is an important time for Jim List. I know it's an hour-long race, but if there is a battle between Hartley and Allen and Holmes, who's tagging along in 4th, then Jim List will be in a great position, because that gap will start to increase slowly but surely. No real slipstreaming areas on this circuit for the Masters. That makes a different race to normal. It means a real test of skill, potentially one that could be won in the pits, Adam, because how many times did we see that in the old days of Formula 1, where certain tracks overtaking very, very difficult, and really it was just a holding pattern until the pit stops. But Jim List will be hoping he can get away.
Saw some cracking races in the F1 at the Hungaroring back in the day when refuelling was a big thing. 1998, the McLarens were the dominant car that weekend, and Ferrari pulled a masterstroke to get a win there.
And I believe it was 1988 where Thierry Boutsen won the race without making a pit stop. So
probably 89 because McLaren won all but one in 88.
Sorry, 89. You are. I think that is.
Oh, one of the two. Maybe 1990.
It's a mid to late 80s race. But yeah, the driver still stands and the method of victory still stands.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm not sure exactly which race it was, but I think it was 1990.
1990, yes.
There we go.
89 Mansell won, starting from 14th on the grid. Oh. In his Ferrari.
Oh, there we go. There we have it. But that sort of race, it can be a similar race today. I mean, we're not going to see no stops. That's for certain. However,
and we hope we see some overtaking. I think we should see more than if we were at the Hungaroring.
However, fuel will be an issue for these guys. So.
That being said, I think the Hungaroring would be a pretty decent track on the iRacing service. But yeah, I'll open that up to debate. Let us know if you're on the live chat. What track you would like to see on the iRacing service. Hopefully get and read some of them out during the evening. Jim List then leads the way. We've just been talking about that. List Racing he drives for. The clue's in the name. 6th in the championship. Quite a bit of a way behind 5th place Jeff Jacobs, but a win today would soon change that.
Pointless sort of note number 2 is that there is a man in the field whose name rhymes with List. It's Brist, Robert Brist. He's in 15th place and up 2 positions from where he started.
And he's only 2 positions ahead of Jim List officially altogether. So,
and yes, 3 positions ahead of him.
Oh yeah,
because Leon Wright's down there behind him as well. Oh no, sorry, no, he's just Wright's just gone through, hasn't he? Sorry, you were right. You were right. And speaking of just being very close together on the track as well, Matthew Katila is now holding on to his 7th place from the father and son team of Russell and Michael Ruddock. Russell is the older of the 2, and yeah, looks like he's putting the pressure on here. He had a decent race in the Porsche at the weekend.
Yes, and in our new series, the Ricmotech Sports Car Challenge, World Sports Car Challenge,
I believe in 3rd. So not bad at all, really.
Hopefully that series will continue to grow. Next race meeting is in a few weeks. And we'll be showing the whole season here on Apex Racing TV. But yeah, Michael Ruddock and Russell Ruddock, they seem to be pretty inseparable, don't they? In and out of the car, possibly.
Yeah, no, oh dear me. Well, being inseparable is the battle for 2nd. Kevin Ford might dampen Vigas. Ford got 2 wheels on the grass, very nearly ended up being a bit of a disaster for him. But he's now starting to drop into the clutches of Dam and Vigas, and away goes Aeronom to the tune of 1.5 seconds. And if they let this go on for another few laps without either Ford picking his pace up a bit or Dam or Vigas going, you know what, I've had enough of this, I'm going to try and go through, then they're virtually gifting the race to Aeronom in the first quarter.
Might interest you to know that there's only been 2 winners in the Mustang this year, and you probably can guess who they both are. Mike Dam and Aeronom.
Yeah, and that race at Daytona, which was won by a couple of thousands, I mean, it really shows how evenly matched these 2 are.
And Mike Dam is probably thinking the same thing as Kevin Ford as another wobble going through the first of the S's.
It's a good line through the chicane, but you can't really overtake going in. You might have a go on the way out. Here he comes. He's having a look up the inside, Mike Dam. You can overtake in the final sector as well, Adam. You can surprise people. If you straight line that right-hander there, can sneak up the inside into the left.
If you can set the car up through what we'll call Woodhouse corner, then you can really get a good run going through the final few corners of the lap.
That's why you're calling it that. Sorry, I've just realised why you're calling it that. Yeah, it's because I ended up on the side in the fence, isn't it?
In the Kia.
In the Kia, yeah. We can probably find the footage for you at some point, everybody. But yeah, it's. I went toe to toe with Wojciech Zvinovic in there, and it didn't end well for me. I thought I was doing rather well until that point, but it all went, went a bit tits up, to be honest.
I think we give as good as we get in the when we're in the Kia.
Yeah, I think so.
And that's proven. We've got a few wins, Tano.
You've got to have a go on certain tracks. I think we're quite smart because I think we stick to the tracks that we like and the ones where we know we're quite decent at. So we don't get embarrassed too badly. Yeah, but error not. He's almost making an embarrassment in the field at the minute. Yeah, it's maybe a little strong, but he's 2 seconds clear already.
We saw such a dominating performance by.
Oh, Hartley's going for the lead. Hartley up the inside into turn 1. He's alongside Jim List. They're going wheel to wheel. And who's this at the inside? John Allen.
John Allen. It has to be John Allen.
He's trying to get involved in this battle. And we finally got the side-by-side action that the league admins were telling us would happen this meeting. And look at Brian Holmes now. And this is the thing with the MX-5s. We see it every Tuesday night as well in the BSR MX-5s is when they get slowed up and they lose that momentum, Adam, it really makes a huge difference. Packs can get closed up super quickly.
Really helps the racing, doesn't it? And probably why it's so popular in the rookies as well, just because the gaps are so close. And here is John Allen now, finding himself in second position in class as he nearly loses the front. Going through the triple chicane, so hard to get right as well. And with those curbs on the inside and on the outside as well, they can be very unforgiving and you can find yourself spat out in that vast, very vast gravel pit on the exit of the corner.
Oh yeah, you're 100% right. And it's not for the faint-hearted, this track. You almost liken it to a roller coaster, the ups and downs, and this second chicane is pretty difficult. I mean, it's like a slower Rouge almost, and it's almost as tricky.
And then you've got
probably
the long right-hander,
actually, I'd say.
Mirroring turn 1 at Shanghai almost.
Yeah.
This final section.
Oh, Zachary Rubin just going a little wide through turn 15. Which meant that he was set up through 16 a little bit by David Payton. Payton right on his bumper now. And John Allen's he's really trying to engineer a way past Jim List now. Our
open leader, Zachary Rubin, of course. But yeah, here comes John Allen.
He has actually got a nice slipstream going into the hairpin. Is he going to have a look? No, he doesn't. But the body language of the car's telling me that I think he's going to want past sooner or later. I think he just wants to see if he's got the pace to break away. And if he doesn't, he might fall back into this pack again.
We're always trying to work out what Jim List is John Allen is thinking, don't we?
He's thinking about that early strategy call, no doubt. I don't know. It's very possible that he could be indeed.
He's already thinking, what fuel do I need to just get me across the line, and then I can go and pit.
In fairness, he's always been one for the crazy strategies, but it seems like this season it's actually working.
Yeah, two wins, two wins now.
Yeah, and I don't think we saw him win. I think we saw him maybe one last season. But yeah, it's going really well. He won at Daytona. He won. Now I think he won Road. Did he win Road Atlanta? I can't remember exactly which one he did win, but
both wins were actually in the 90-minute races.
Oh, there you go. Where was that then? That was at
Daytona and Motegi.
Motegi, that was under the lights.
If he comes again then, this seems to be the part of the track where he seems to have the upper hand over Jim List, both setting very, very similar lap times, less than a tenth of a second in it between these two as they come out over the top of the hill. IndyCar have had a good few races here when I've been watching them in the past. Looking forward to seeing the new IndyCar as well, new model this year.
Looks good, doesn't it? With the aero screen. The new IndyCar, a lot of people said when it came out that it looked a bit like a fighter jet, and well, now it's got the aircraft, the fighter jet canopy on it, almost. It's pretty close, but yeah, definitely looks cool, and I think it'll be good for the racing. We mentioned it earlier on in our earlier broadcast. As Aaron now leads by 4 seconds as Kevin Ford continues to frustrate Mike Dam and Clint Vigas. We mentioned it earlier on, but Red Bull released their car today, and what a beautiful looking testing livery that is. I hope they keep that. It looks something actually akin to the colour scheme that Kevin Ford's got on his car. It's not too dissimilar in terms of the shades of blue and the black and the white that it has on there.
I think Kevin Ford will need some of those Red Bulls if he wants to keep Mike Dam behind.
Might do, yes indeed. One of the league admins. Second commander, Extreme Motorsports. Yeah, exactly. No wonder he's doing so well. Mike Dam, Canadian versus the American.
Good few weeks for Canada. Doing pretty well at the Winter Olympics.
That's it. Canada tend to do a bit better most of the time in that than, I don't know, America seem to do quite well, don't they? But the Canadians, they're the kings and queens of curling.
Oh, we've been made to look like right fools this year in the curling.
I mean, it's not. I mean, there's still hope, I reckon. I think we can still. I think we always seem to try and pull that one out of the bag. I do quite like how Claire Baldwin's been calling it the game of stones. I do like that, and exactly that. And this is a bit like human chess out there in the Barber Motorsports Park, because Kevin Ford, I mean, if you use a curling term, he's sort of blocking the house. They've put the stone in front of the house and nothing else can get through, and that's kind of what. And they just need Mike Dam to perform a big takeout here and end Kevin Ford's reign in second place. That's enough for the curling puns. That's me done for the day, but you know exactly what I meant.
It's a
good line by Ford that time through that chicane. Dam just kind of missed the second part of the chicane, didn't he? Which you could see just cost him 0.2 of a second or so.
Wouldn't put it past him having the Winter Olympics on right now, but nearly losing it again on the exit there. Shows you the speed that they carry into these corners. Clint Vigas, once again showing that he is no mug, has come up to lap the Mazdas.
One of the Mazdas went into the pits. Jeff Jacobs deciding he's going to make an early stop, and you know what? I think this is a genius strategy by Jeff Jacobs, because he's come in exactly at the point where these guys are starting to get lapped, right? And I think that is brilliant, because he's not going to lose any time to the lap traffic whatsoever.
Well,
because he's going to come out, and he's going to come out once all the Mustangs have gone through already.
This is going to come completely against the grain here, because in the notes that we were sent over by Kevin Ford, he says the Mazdas will pit around 44 minutes into the race. Well,
but that means that Jeff Jacobs can get to the end.
There we go.
And
exactly.
He's
it's
not going to lose
psychology,
because the Mazdas lose so much time in the traffic. I mean, look, there's only one Mustang that's been. Well, there's two Mustangs here. So Scott Brooks and Jennifer McDonald, and really, then there's only 7 seconds or so. There's only 7 seconds or so of a gap to the next Mustang, so he can slot in here, Jeff Jacobs. Maybe get a bit of slipstream off these two, or maybe just overtake them. Maybe he'll do that as well, which he's just done.
John Allen's got the lead, yeah, in the Mazdas. Finally managed to wrestle it away from Jim List, and what a start it's been. 5 positions gained for John Allen. Well, some of them may have been down to demises of various Mustangs. Just having a look on the results, actually. Brandon Whitworth out of the race. Sorry, I completely missed that one. But Michael Key also has been in the pits for a long time. And yeah, that has helped a little bit. Travis Davis didn't take the start today, which is a shame. TD didn't take part in practice either, so maybe he was just helping organise the session for this one.
Well, we know he can't make all the races.
Hardware problems. There you go. Thanks to Alex for that.
I was going to say, we know he can't make all the races, so but yeah, hardware issues. Never good to have those.
Go back to the
TD.
Just to go back to the single-seater thing, we've got some pretty decent futuristic cars coming our way. We've got Formula 1 at the moment with that stunning Red Bull livery. Hopefully we get to see some pretty radical designs over the next few days. We've got the new Formula E car that's coming out in the summer.
I think we need. I think we need a new Mustang. I'd be very happy with that because it's outdated, isn't it? At the minute.
Well, we ditched the Ford GT in the old Ford GT in the World GT Championship. Maybe it's time to find a replacement for the Ford Mustang here.
Yeah, I think so. Racing. But the Mustangs, it's a reliable old thing. But again, I think it'd just be nice if the guys had a new toy to play with. There's some great racing out there. In fact, brilliant. Oh, hello! Oh, it's John Allen getting it all wrong in turn 1. But because of how the circuit is, he manages to just gather it all up and just keep it just right there where he needs to be.
Look at Hartley though, great run on the outside. Allen gives him the space.
Here comes List.
Is he going to tick this position off, going into the hairpin? Hartley up the inside, but you can fight back on the outside, and look at Hartley twitching his way on the exit here.
Yeah, brilliant. It's now a great battle between 6 cars out here, but this is playing into the hands of Jeff Jacobs, who I know he was a little bit further behind. He wasn't in this pack. We've got to clarify, he was not quite in this pack, but every lap that these guys are fighting is every lap that Jeff Jacobs potentially is gaining time, or at least not losing as much time with the strategy, because remember, these guys have still got to go most of the race before they're going to make the pit stop. It's a good decision, I think, to pit early. They've still got the Mustang traffic to deal with, because he can see who's that just behind this pack. Adam, it's Aeronom, of course.
And into the pits he goes straight away. We saw it in the Mazdas. Didn't want to get stuck in the traffic. They didn't. Now it's the Mustang's turn to not want to have to get involved in lapping the very, very quick Mazda drivers. So good decision by Aeronom. Just looking at the strategy.
That's kind of the anti-Jeff Jacobs strategy, isn't it? It's kind of the same. It's the same strategy, but it's done in obviously done in a different way by coming in before he gets to the back of the traffic. Mike Dam in as well. Also Matthew Katila, Russell Ruddock and Michael Ruddock.
Could expect to see just 2 tyres here. The Mustang doesn't need to take on too much fuel here, so they don't want to be standing there for longer than they need to. And Aeronom only 2 tyres, so away he goes. Guessing Mike Dam will follow suit. Indeed he does. Away he goes as well. Pit stop times for both of them. Nom 17.2, Dam 15.2, so 2 seconds gain there.
Yeah, good stuff there by him. Good pit stop. Oh, it's very close here between Dam and Leon Wright on the exit of the pits. Down the first couple of corners, but yeah, Nom with a very good pit stop indeed.
Now it's all going to be down to when Kevin Ford and Clint Vigas come into the pits. They don't want to waste time and lose any more ground to Mike Dam, who's looks like he's pitted early to try and find a way to get past these 2.
But what this has done as well, John Allen goes into the lead, or at least he's trying to take the lead.
And then they both come.
He's quite gentlemanly in terms of leaving the room on the inside, but he does carry on and go around the outside with the momentum. And Jim List is trying to get second place away from Hartley.
Oh, Allen!
And he takes it, and Holmes is on the grass.
Allen had the tyres lit up then as he went through the first corner, and looked like he did then as he goes through the hairpin.
He doesn't seem to have the balance quite right, does he, through there? Just going to bring Alex in just for a second. Alex, is there anything he can do to avoid doing that into turn 1?
No, it is tough. It's just the natural the way the track goes, you know.
It drops away, doesn't it? Does that automatically make the rear end quite light?
Well, it will do. I mean, it's just one of those corners when you're battling in there. I think you've always got to expect that there's a chance of contact and everything, because it's just so narrow on the exit, you know.
How
Yeah.
about?
Well, yeah, because the grass and everything is very,
It's
very
tough.
close.
I mean, it's an old school circuit. You know, there's no runoff here or anything. So you know, you have to be absolutely on the money.
I mean, you remember what happened to me there, didn't you, in the race
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
did? Is that, you know, I just got a wheel on the grass or two, round I went in front of the whole field.
That's it. Yep.
Well then, Kevin Ford has emerged behind Mike Dam. Dam has managed to leapfrog both Clint Vigas and Kevin
Allen's
Ford
in.
up to second.
Don Allen's in, Adam.
Well,
And so this
throw
is the first man to blink of the lead pack.
throw the copybook out the window then, because very intriguing this.
Or either that, or it's exactly by the book, because that's usually what John Allen ends up
book,
doing.
yeah.
Yes.
We'll wait and see where he comes out in relation to Jeff Jacobs. We did say earlier that Jeff Jacobs wasn't battling with Allen at the time, but it may still be worth a look to see how things have compared between those two. Away goes John Allen. Don't think he changed any tyres. Pit stop time of 16 seconds. May have done.
Not a bad stop there, really. And but again, we're not truly going to know whether it is a good stop or not. Just really until everybody else pits, and I think that's unfortunately what happens when you pit early, is that we don't truly know whether it's a good benchmark or not really.
Looking at the tyre info that we did get, Mazda drivers will take 2 tyres or possibly none, depending on their status in the race, which should open up a bit of strategy. But I think I think track position looks to be so key around here. You'll be minimising any time you can get in the pit stop. So the majority, I reckon, we're going to see probably no tyres. Right, just coming up to the...
It is a tyre-intensive circuit, though, which makes me wonder whether no tyres is a good idea. I don't know really what. It just depends what the wear rates are like. I mean, we heard from the GT3 drivers earlier on that earlier on tonight in the World GT Championship at Silverstone, that the tyres are absolutely fine, and in that case, you wouldn't want to change them. But obviously, different cars, a bit less power here, but potentially softer tyres. So yeah, those GT3 tyres, they're designed for doing 2-hour stints, aren't they, really?
Allen definitely didn't take tyres, I just watched them back. But great battle going on here for third position then. Stephen Thomas has now replaced Mike Dam in this battle pack. They're now fighting for the final spot on the podium. Kevin Ford, who is yet to take a win yet this season, did win at Sebring last year. This time that honour went to Aero Nom. Ford most likely won't be winning one today, but he'll be still fighting for a podium.
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, if he's fighting for a podium every week, it's definitely good. And Aero Nom, he's been there pretty much every time. Mike Dam also been up there, but then the rest, it's kind of scraps. And Kevin Ford maybe not quite where he was last season, maybe just a tiny bit slower, or maybe not had the look that he had maybe. But go on, sorry.
So Thomas threw on Vigas. So
good move by Stephen Thomas. Teammates there, aren't they? I believe so. Oh no, they're not. Sorry. All right. I was looking at the window strip, and the window strip is the same, isn't it? It's the sponsor strip.
Thomas driving for Driftline Motorsports. Driftline Racing. Clint Vigas, of course, privateer.
Of course, with Nathan Thomas competing on Saturday in the Mustang and took the win. That was well driven by them. Now he's got the task of holding back Clint Vigas, and good move though by Thomas. I mean, we haven't seen that many passes so far, which I think is good. I always think that earning your overtakes is really it's really good racing, and I'm not one of these people who just thinks that constant overtakes are amazing for racing. You've got to have there's got to be a bit of tension beforehand. Will they or won't they make the move? Scott Brooks, and Raymond Bader Jr. are into the pits. They were sitting in, what was it? It was about
10th and 11th?
About 10th and 11th, yeah.
Second time.
Go. And Bader's actually done a decent job considering he had a black flag earlier on. He had to do a drive-through penalty, so...
Yeah, second time today that Bader Jr. has come into the pits. This time for an actual scheduled stop. Looks like the second half of the Mustangs coming in.
Robert Brist is in too.
Yep. Only 2 drivers yet to come in now, and they are Michael Monaghan and Jennifer McDonald. So those 2 running long here as we're now into the second half of the race.
Yeah, that's put Monaghan up into 7th place. Pretty strong runs so far for Michael.
Oh, into the pits
Jennifer
comes...
McDonald doing well in the open category, sorry Adam.
Jim List coming into the pits, so we're going to have to wait and see where John Allen is, because we are getting a potential lead battle emerging and tyres are being changed on Jim List's car.
Yeah, so I think that's a sensible option, to be honest. I know it might not necessarily be needed, but it's the one option. It's the one option where it's pretty much guaranteed not to fail.
And this does mean
where the least things can go wrong, should I say.
John Allen swoops by into the lead then, so Jim List is going to have to use these tyres to his advantage. He's now got to close the gap up.
Yeah, and he's got to really push now when he leaves the pits.
And like a bit of strategy in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Right then, 33 minutes in the books. We are going to take a quick break here on Apex Racing TV, but you don't want to miss the second half of this one because the different strategies are on offer. It could be about to cook up a cracker for us here in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV and the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Andrew Woodhouse alongside Adam Bath here, and well, Adam, it's been an enthralling race so far, really interesting, and just seeing Brian Holmes emerge just ahead of John Allen coming out of the pits, despite taking some tyres there.
2 tyres taken for Brian Holmes. So, yeah, and in come everybody else. In comes the rest of the Mazda field. I'm checking to see why Jim List's pit stop was so slow, because it was 10 seconds slower than Brian Holmes, and they both took 2 tyres. I did check on the replays as well to see whether Jim List sped on entry into the pit lane, but I don't think he did, so something interesting went on there. Away goes Hartley, 19.5 seconds. Now it's going to be interesting to see where Brian Holmes and John Allen are. They're just coming down the front straight into the first corner.
You do not want to speed in the pit lane. That's the one-way ticket to a black flag. Goes without saying, of course. It doesn't take a genius to work that one out. But David Payton's still out there. Still appears to not have stopped.
No. One of the few. In fact, the only driver in the entire field yet to pit.
Have a look at his lap times. I mean, he's been quite good. I mean, he's only about a second off his fastest lap of the race, and to be honest, he's been around this 1:37.9 mark for pretty much the whole race since about lap 6. So,
well, this is
good pace.
Well, to summarise this pit stop window, then it's advantage Mike Dam in the Mustangs. However, he doesn't show any signs as of yet of closing in on Aeronom as David Payton finally comes in. In the Mazdas, though, this has been an absolute disaster, I reckon, for Jim List. 10 seconds slower than everybody else, even with just taking 2 tyres, which almost certainly means that he must have just sped on entry into the pit lane. Either that or something was messed up in the pit stop procedure. And now this means that John Allen is now behind Brian Holmes, and Rob Hartley is chasing them down. So it looks like it could be those 3 fighting for the win.
Yeah, I think you're right. And 3-car battle, well, should bring us some great racing at the end of the race. David Payton is going to emerge.
Oh, this is going to be close.
Come out
just behind Rob Hartley.
Or is he? Side by side with him. Or he was side by side with him, but with a good exit, might be able to use this slipstream. Get somewhere near going into the hairpin. Going to have a dive on the fresh tyres. Think about it.
Amazing moment going into that hairpin in the BSRTC 3 years ago. The Sim Racer magazine cars taking each other out in spectacular fashion. God.
Yeah, what a amazing thing that was. And I had some good moves into the hairpin myself down there over the years. Oh, Payton taking all kinds of curve there in the trip up.
Almost a bit of a Brno about this circuit. A mini Brno in the Czech Republic.
I know what you mean in terms of the scenery and in terms of the elevation changes. I get that.
Especially the quick chicanes.
Chicanes are great. I mean, Brno chicanes are sort of a little bit slower than that.
Yeah, I'm thinking of where Travis Schwenke's just going through now. That's almost Brno chicane right there.
Thinking of him, actually. Only 7th for Schwenke. Although he has managed to get out. Has he pitted yet?
Yeah, he has.
He has managed to get out right behind Jim List. List has lost a lot of time.
This just shows what must have gone wrong in the pit stop. I think I looked myself on the pit lane speed limit is 72 kilometers an hour, and I'm sure that he was below that. But yeah,
well,
something must have gone wrong.
His mechanics are going to make the list for his pit stop.
Must have put too much fuel in.
Here comes Schwenke then. List, is he going to block the inside? Schwenke doing his usual and not making an overtake unless he has to. And I just honestly, a lot of the time though, do not understand that, Adam, because I can understand not wanting to just chuck it up the inside or something, but if you're that much quicker, like it looks like he is, probably you go through, don't you? Right.
Don't know where he's thinking either
fuel saved for days, but you know, at the end of the day, he's Brian Holmes, the leader, 2 corners away.
What's the phrase? Time waits for no man. And
waits for no Mazda.
Well, for no Mazda, yeah. In this situation, Schwenke obviously being the man to try and wait for a sign to get past Jim List at the moment. Maybe he knows that Jim List is a pretty quick driver. Of course, he led the majority of this first stint.
Well, it's true. I mean, List could in theory get back up there, but isn't it sort of? I mean, yeah, I suppose List has been quicker than Travis all along. In this race meeting, but look how far back they are. They're the whole length of the pitch straight behind.
You say that Travis Schwenke is enlisting in the waiting game.
Enlisting List.
Could be. I mean, it does seem to be up in this game. Could be lining him up here as we come out of this corner. I think I reckon that's close enough to make a move.
And he's going to try actually. So he has decided it's go time here. Travis Schwenke.
There we go.
He just seems to do that, doesn't he? Just suddenly just flicks the switch and goes, right, I'm off now. I'm going now. But can he pull away from Jim List? You know what? I'm not sure. List's going to have a look into the triple chicane. A look is all he has. Doesn't really commit to anything, which is probably a good idea. For me, the triple is not an easy place to overtake in.
Doesn't help that those curbs look pretty menacing in a car like this where the suspension is so low.
Now that Mike Dam's got past Kevin Ford, got Aeronom's lead down from over 4 seconds to 3.3.
Allen has got the lead, by the way, on this lap. Brian Holmes has lost it. How did this happen?
But he must have caught it quickly.
Oh, it was a mistake. It was a mistake by Brian Holmes. He went off at the right-hander, which you know so well, and went onto the grass, and John Allen says thank you very much and takes the lead.
Great stuff for him. We'll be very, very happy, John Allen, with that. Good season continues, doesn't it?
Currently on course then for a third win. Brian Holmes, I'll have a look at the season winners. He is he's taken one win. That was back at Cota, race 3 of the season. Rob Hartley's got 2 wins to his name. 2 wins for John Allen. Just the 1 for Brian Holmes. He'll be hoping to even the score, 2 apiece for everybody, if he gets a win here. But he's now currently sitting in 2nd place.
Yeah, he definitely won't say no to a 3rd win of the season.
Good battle as well between
at least try to get it.
Good battle between Zachary Rubin and Dave Payton. If any, I think those positions might have swapped. You know, indeed they have. So Rubin, the ST Open leader, car 7, through into 4th place in class.
Yeah, good work by Zachary Rubin there. In past David Payton, it's not easy. He's a good driver, it's David.
Just a bit of an insight for you into how quick Mike Dam and Aeronom have been around here today. 14 seconds now between Dam and Ford. 11 laps into this current stint. It's almost, when I think of a gap like this, I think of Stoner v Rossi at in the MotoGP at Laguna Seca that one year. Where they were just,
what a brilliant race that was, eh?
Just light years ahead of everybody else. Here comes Vigas up the inside. He's on the grass as he tries to get past Stephen Thomas, and that has lost both of them a bit of time.
Nobody can say that these guys aren't trying.
No, definitely they are pushing here. But all these guys are fighting for the 3rd position. Dam and Nom, both on different planets, and if anything, is Dam just starting to get a tiny bit closer as we go into the final quarter of an hour.
Yeah, like I say, it was over 4 seconds.
That's 2.7.
Yeah. I mean, he's putting the hammer down, and is it Dammer time? I don't know.
Oof. The Van Daminator. Could be about to make his mark.
That's a good wrestling reference, I must admit. Quite good. Mike Dam then. Closing in on Aeronom. We know how good Aeronom is. Don't need to tell you at home. He proves it week in, week out. But Mike Dam is the master of the Ford Mustang. You know, he's not going to be an easy man to beat whatsoever. We saw him take the win in the Porsche with Pasquale Iannucci on Saturday in the Ricmotech World Challenge. He'll lead it, and here in 2nd place again here in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Kevin Ford is in 3rd, and he's not got a lot of room to work with here because Stephen Thomas just behind him, then Clint Vigas, then Pasquale Iannucci tagging on, so a 4-car scrap for the last spot on the podium.
Might need to get the calculator out, you know. It is so close between Aeronom and Mike Dam in the championship that we could be leaving here with pretty much a virtual dead heat. You get a bonus point for pole position, that goes to Mike Dam. You get a point for leading a lap. Mike Dam hasn't led a lap yet today. Aeronom has led a lap. 35 points you get for a win, 32 for second. And going into this race meeting, Mike Dam has a 4-point advantage over Aero Nom. So you can tell just by that if Nom gets the win, we could be looking at a pretty much a virtual dead heat when the championship goes to the next race meeting, which is the Auto Club Speedway next week.
Is it indeed? Well,
that's another track that we need to buy.
I've got it.
That'll
be another race that will be extremely interesting as well. Auto Club Speedway, great oval circuit. It's going to be like in terms of the road course that we're going to.
Yeah, one of my favourite ovals, just because whenever I watched a NASCAR race, you could see 3 different cars using 3 different lines going into a corner in their pursuit of trying to get past one another. May see that in the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series, but of course we've got the infield section to have a look at. Another one that I don't really know the layout of. May need to get that up on our facts before we go.
I'm just going to have a quick look at what it looks like on iRacing in terms of that. So have a look at Auto Club Speedway. So there is a competition road course layout. There is a moto layout with some more chicanes, and there's also an interior circuit as well. So there's a few different ones. I'm not exactly sure which one we're going to, but I imagine it'll be the competition one, which means actually there's a big stretch of oval section to drive on. I think the moto circuit would actually be the best one, but we'll see what. Well, we're not exactly sure where we're going. It doesn't actually say which layout we are racing on next week.
Have a look for you on the schedule on the website just to.
And the lead is 1.9.
And down, isn't it? 34.5 on the last lap, half a second taken out by Mike Dam.
The inexorable advance of Mike Dam, the Canadian versus the Estonian. Absolutely class apart, these two, as he said.
Well,
just destroying the rest of the field as it stands.
One nation's doing pretty well at the Winter Olympics. The other was doing pretty well in the World Rally Championship at the weekend. Tanak.
They've got a good history in the World Rally Championship as well. Marco Martin, one of the best drivers of the 2000s.
Competition course Willie will be running next week.
Oh, there you go.
For the Pirelli 60.
So that is then the got a big oval section, so we're going to see the Mazdas all over the place, I think, in terms of the slipstream.
Oh yeah, we've got NASCAR turns 1 and turns 2 before we get on the brakes. That's going to be pretty interesting.
Big long section there. Now, having a little look at the lead of the Mazdas again, and we have a 3-way battle, as it seemed to be nearly every week. 3 of these drivers are with us at the front of the race: John Allen, Rob Hartley and Brian Holmes.
May even not be able to rule out Zachary Rubin and Peyton, however they are probably just a bit too far behind as we get into the final 10 minutes. Here comes Rob Hartley then to the lead, almost. But John Allen is able to carry the speed, but we have seen if you carry the speed too much on entry, the rear just absolutely spits you out.
Yeah, it does. It's like we said, the elevation changes, it gives some issues. The curbs can cause you some more problems, and you know that's without taking into account the other drivers. So we've only seen one contact between drivers today.
That was on the opening lap.
Yeah, and Raymond Bader Jr. took a penalty for that one. But it's been largely clean. Apart from that, very, very clean indeed. John Allen with the early strategy again, Adam. He's trying to make this work, but Hartley's got a good run. He's looking quick now. He's Rob Hartley. And he goes into the inside. John Allen doesn't defend the line at all.
Oh.
Tries to pinch him down a little. Might work actually here because he can use the outside line, but it just makes it difficult to build that momentum up. But can he get back alongside? Yes, he can. They're wheel to wheel now into the triple chicane.
throws it in, doesn't he?
Oh, he does. And that was really good because he used the camber of the hairpin to his advantage, got round, and he regained the lead.
Ranked the wheel over to the right there to John Allen in his pursuit to get the lead back in the final 8 minutes. Once again, Hartley's now trying to find the space going into the fast chicane.
Very difficult to overtake here.
Very decent lap by Aeronom last time around, 34.7. Quickest lap he's done in quite a while, and that has steadied the gap for now at 2.5 seconds.
As we said, you can overtake into the triple chicane, but it's a little risky.
Over line we go then on to lap 32 in the Mazda MX-5s. They've all been lapped. Our leader on the circuit, just in case we do come across them towards the end, is coming into the final complex of the course. The Mazdas are on the other side of the circuit, so I don't think we're going to see them again. Here comes Hartley. Into the hairpin we go. The lead in the Mustang, sorry, is coming down again. It's down to under 2 seconds now, but here comes Hartley. He's trying to get the cut back on the exit. Brian Holmes has got one of the best views in the house of watching it alongside you, the viewer.
Been a great fist to this as Hartley, Allen again chucks it in, really ricochets off that first curb. Gets a bit of air even, John Allen. You're right, I wonder, you know, we make this comment pretty much every week, but Mike Dam seems to always struggle in the traffic a little bit compared to some of the other drivers, so, you know, he tends to be a little more patient, and it does cost him a bit of time, but it ensures that he always gets through cleanly, and that's the most important thing.
Has Aeronom been at Bushfink Racing for quite a while, or?
I think he has been there for a while. I'm not.
Should have asked James King about it.
I'm not 100%. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I think he's been there for a bit. I would wager that it's probably about a year, but I'm just not entirely sure.
He burst onto the scene in the Mazdas towards the back end of last season, filling in, of course, for Edgar Sancinelli, and it's a worthy replacement. Sancinelli, of course, doing pretty well as well.
I mean, Edgar's a decent driver, but it doesn't compare to Aeronom. Even he said that actually when he jumped in the car. Hartley to the inside again into the hairpin. This time he can just run. The only problem that these guys are having, Adam, is they're just refusing to run the other guy out of space. Although Hartley this time gets a good enough drive that he doesn't actually need to do that. But, I mean, you know, you're 3/4 of a car length in front. Sometimes you just got to try to kind of
push the envelope,
keep that gap a little bit, yeah.
Well, Hartley now for the first time.
So not keep the gap, but keep the, you know what I mean, be a bit more forceful with the move, because especially in this car, if you allow people to run around the outside of you, then they will do it.
We're
nearly approaching the end of the race.
Yeah, we've got 5 minutes to go. Something's going on here between Stephen Thomas and Vigus. They were changing positions left, right and centre on my timing screen, so I think they've... Oh, that's why there's been a crash.
Between these two?
Between Thomas and Vigus, yeah, going into the first corner.
Oh yeah, they've dropped down behind Pasquale Iannucci. See what happened there?
Just having a look now for you. Going into the first corner, Vigus up the inside. I think actually this is Thomas trying to get the move done on the outside. They make contact. Fortunately for those two, nothing else. They don't make contact with anything else, but it does result in Pasquale Iannucci getting past both of them, up to 4th place for the Team Potato driver.
Replay on the screen for you guys at home. Yeah, very, very good indeed. See the action unfold after it's happened, of course. That's one of the beauties of iRacing. And we get instant replays. For your first time viewer, welcome. Drew Woodhouse and Adam Bath, Alex Simpson on cameras. Ricmotech Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series. And
Incident
off
is,
onto the grass goes Clint Vigus.
and the incident is under review. I've got complete faith that Brian Cobb and the race organisers can do a better job at making a decision than the VAR.
Well,
at least they won't draw squiggly lines to try and
I've never seen anything like it. Do you,
make
mate?
their own decisions.
What a mess that was, eh? Dam's got it down to 1.5 now. Has he left this too late, though? You kind of think he has, because Aeronom is very good, and he might be too good to kind of let it slip so easily. I don't know. We've got about 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, 3 minutes 10 seconds. The gap is hovering around 1.2 seconds. 1.1 now as we go through the final sector.
Hartley versus Allen versus Holmes continues on to lap 35.
I think it's turning into one of those races, isn't it? With 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, it is always. Two classes always seem to converge.
As we come across the line, the Mustangs are separated by just a second.
Well, here we go then. Probably a couple of laps to separate the winners and losers of tonight's race here in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series.
Half a second Mike Dam took out of the knob on that last lap.
I wouldn't like to pick a winner.
No, I wouldn't.
Even at this point, I would not like to pick a winner.
In either class.
Yeah.
Things stand, Aeronom does have a bit more of an advantage than Rob Hartley does over the second place car. You know how quickly things can change in this series.
There's really not a lot there at all, is there, in terms of the advantage in the MX-5. To be fair, there never is.
The stewards have responded, and Clint Vigus is going to be heartbroken because with just 2 minutes to go, he's been hit with a drive-through penalty. Now he could do a Michael Schumacher on it and come in on the final lap of the race.
In fairness, if he takes it, he's not going to lose any places, so he might as well come in and take it.
Yeah, it is a looking at my timing screen.
And then at least if anybody crashes, then you know he's potentially going to gain some spots. So
yeah.
And I mean, you know, it's not out of the question that Aeronom and Mike Dam might crash into each other if they get there. I mean, I doubt it, but you know,
Gap's gone back up on this lap.
They're fighting hard for the win, then it's possible.
Look at this! It's John Allen trying to get past Hartley.
1.2 now at the front of the Mustangs, but yeah, Hartley and Allen wobbling again at the hairpin.
Oh, look at Brian Holmes. He's just like, where on earth are you two going? I'm just going to take the racing line and see if I can get both of you.
Will this be the last one, Adam, or will there be?
I will tell you in a second.
Will there be any more laps?
This.
Well, there'll be two more for the Mazdas, at least the side-by-side and the triple.
Could be the final lap. I'm not too sure. We've got 40 seconds to go. Aeronom is just coming out of the hairpin.
What do you think Brian Holmes can do from this position? Oh!
Just hope that these two crash, I reckon.
Oh man, that's super close. That's very close.
Might be able to get second here if he's brave. But he's just not enough alongside.
He's brave, or if the others are stupid. Oh, wow. Very close to contact between all three of them. They all managed to avoid disaster. He's going to try the inside. I don't think that's going to work, John. You need to straight line this corner and get up the inside into the left, I think is the best bet. But ironically for Hartley, going wide actually helped him. But look at that exit from John Allen. Was a bit cheeky using a bit of the grass. And Blake very late on the brakes, he's through. Sliding the car, you see the tyre marks left on the surface.
Very, very quickly, this is the final lap. Aeronom coming out of the final corner. Mike Dam got the gap down to half a second, but Nom takes his second win of the season.
It was that first few laps that we mentioned that were the key. He stuck behind Kevin Ford, that poor start, that poor lap one for Mike Dam. What did it? But Aeronom, supreme drive again. Take the win now. It's all on for the MX-5s. Holmes versus Hartley versus the leader, John Allen. Holmes is on the grass. Going up to the triple chicane. Side by side into it. Oh. Allen's sliding the car. He's out of control. He's surely going to run wide. Hartley's going to get a good drive off there. So's Holmes. We could be 3 wide into the back chicane. Holmes needs to get out of this and just kind of set these guys up if he wants to do anything. Hartley again, alongside Adam, but fast chicane to come. You can't really go too wide through here, but they might try.
Oh, look at that by Allen.
Look at this by Holmes. Holmes is gonna sneak up the inside here of Hartley. Allen's gonna take it. Surely John Allen's gonna take this win. It's about second place now. John Allen through the final corner. He's going to take his 3rd victory of the season, and it's going to be Brian Holmes who nicks it from Hartley right on the finishing line.
First time this season that John Allen has won a race. It's not an endurance race. He finally gets it done in the 60-minute ones.
Yeah, good stuff there. And Clint Vigas did come in and serve his black flag.
He did it.
And he stayed 6th. Aaron Nom out of fuel.
Did it on no tyres as well, John Allen too.
Brilliant performance, absolutely brilliant. You could tell that he didn't change the tyres, the way he was sliding around all over the place, but yeah, absolutely fantastic.
Well, as the cars head back to the pits then, some to lick their wounds, some to celebrate sweet success as Aero Nom gets pushed back by Clint Vigas. We're running through the finishing order then from race 6 of the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. A brilliant race today at Barber, and we were told that it does provide some great racing, and it was well and truly delivered. Hopefully more of the same next week at Auto Club Speedway in Fontana. Aero Nom then, 2nd win of the season. Let's go with his win at Sebring, win at Florida, and win at Alabama. Mike Dam finishing in 2nd, the pole sitter. While we do the interviews, I will work feverishly away on the calculator to see what this has meant. Of course, there are some bonus points that do get awarded for the amount of incidents that these drivers have picked up during the race. So I'll try and add them into it as well and give you some sort of picture for what the points look like when we leave here. Kevin Ford finishing in 3rd, 4th for Pasquale Iannucci. Gaining positions as a result of Stephen Thomas and Clint Vigas coming together. You were right, Woody. Vigas did serve his drive-through penalty and didn't lose any positions. Matt Catila finishing 7th, then it's the 2 Ruddocks. Russell finishing ahead of Michael here, and then the cars after that are all a lap down. Corey Wharton finishing in 10th, 11th for Michael Monaghan, 12th for Raymond Bader Jr., 13th for Scott Brooks, Jennifer McDonald, then Robert Brist in 5th, 15th, then into the Mazdas. John Allen wins, 2nd Brian Holmes, 3rd for Rob Hartley, 4th Zachary Rubin, 5th for David Payton, 6th for Travis Fenke, then Jim List. He could have won it. I don't know if he'll be around for an interview afterwards, but I'm intrigued to know why the 2nd stint for him just didn't materialise into a race-winning one. Joe Boyd then finishing in 7th, 8th for Joe Boyd. Then we've got Leon Wright that was down there, had some issues. He was in the pits for 2 minutes. Jeff Jacobs finishing in 9th, 10th Dan Corrido, then Chris Torment, Edgar Sancinelli, Lyndall McMurphy, Mike Key having issues, and then Brandon Whitworth out of the race very early on indeed, finishing 27 laps down.
Right, okay, so waiting for some drivers to be available, and indeed, if somebody can grab those two, if Alex can grab Aero Nom and Mike Dam, we'll get them in here together. Here we go then. So 1st and 2nd place overall. Join us in the commentary box, Aero Nom and Mike Dam. Aero, we'll start with you, mate. Good race there. And it was all about the first lap, really, wasn't it? Getting a good start and just getting your head down and maintaining it.
Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed for not getting pole, but the start was very good for me. I was able to stay too wide and yeah, had a good run, so that was key.
And in terms of the strategy then, were you always going to go for what you actually went for in the end, or was it a last-minute decision, or were you always happy with that?
You mean the pit stop?
Yeah. Were you always going to take that strategy, or did you change it halfway through the race?
Actually, the main thing that changed was the laps. I wasn't sure how many laps, so like 10 laps in, I was sure it's 38 laps, not 39. So yeah, it was key to find the space to pit and pit as early as possible.
Well, it did work, and you ran out of fuel on the cooldown lap, so it must have been the right amount of fuel. But seeing Mike closing in on you, then knowing how good he's been for the last few seasons, did it worry you, or did you always have it in hand?
I had a pretty good gap, so actually I was running low on fuel, so I had to save a little bit every lap. So, and I ran out after the finish line exactly, so it was perfect.
Yeah, well done anyway. And we go to Auto Club Speedway next week. Have you ever run on that track before the competition layout there?
I have to buy it first, so.
That makes it two with Adam as well. But yeah, it should be good. Lots of long straights, maybe for the Mustang to stretch its legs. Mike, while we've got you both in here, you two have been the standout performers in this category all season. And what's it like to have an opponent like Aeronom to help push you along during the season?
No, it's fantastic. It's definitely a great rivalry, and yeah, I got to push 100% every night because it's always like, I mean, you could see the finish differences we've had this whole season is something like, I don't know, maybe 5 seconds apart total. So, and qualifying comes down to, I don't know, couple 100s. So, I mean, it's real tight, and it's great to have such a good rivalry. Yeah.
Just been looking at the points myself, just on the calculations. It looks like going into the next race meeting area, you have the lead by just the 1 point. And it was the incidents that did it, Mike. 11 incidents here, so no bonus points here. But yeah, Nom only able to get 3 incidents, so that was 2 bonus points, and that looks like what's swung the difference going to Auto Club next week.
Yeah, I saw the incidents in the race, and I saw Mike was already on 9, so that was good for me.
Yeah, I kind of just put it all out there at the end. I had to try something, and yeah.
Well, it was surely a great battle, and we enjoyed watching it. And I hope it continues into Auto Club Speedway next week. So, Aero, starting with you, do you want to thank anybody out there? Is there anybody you need to give a shout out to, teammates, sponsors, things like that?
Yeah, like always, I want to thank everybody who's running this league and you guys here.
All right, great. And Mike, what about yourself?
Yeah, I'll just let's say the admins for putting this thing on. They do a great job week after week. So it takes a lot of work to do that, and they put a lot of effort in. So kudos to them.
Great stuff. And we've enjoyed having you in the commentary box. Thanks for the good race today, guys, and we'll see you next week at Fontana.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, see ya. Thanks, guys.
Aaron and Mike Dam there, and Adam is with John Allen, who took a sensational victory tonight.
Well, John, 2 wins prior to this one, both in the 90-minute endurance race at Daytona and Motegi, but now you get one in the 60-minute sprint races. Well done.
Yeah, I needed to get one that wasn't a double pit, so I could do it on merit and not tricky pit crew or whatever. So it feels good.
No tires as well.
Yeah, at the real technical tracks like this one, I try and build a setup that is at its best on hot tires, which is means the qualifying can kind of be a throwaway, but in fact, when everyone else hopefully starts to drop off a little bit, when the tires get cooked, mine are right where I want them to be. So I did that on purpose from the start. I did not want to take any tires because I could duplicate lap times better on well worn.
Yeah, there was one part of the track where it looked like you were on top more than Brian Holmes and Rob Hartley. It was the triple chicane at the back part of the circuit. You're absolutely throwing the car at the curbs on that part of the circuit.
Yeah, that was also that was also set up. I would spin and spin and spin in trying to chase lap times for practice, and I finally just went with a unhooked rear sway bar and a soft front sway bar just to absorb that, and so I wouldn't have that in the back of my mind, and I could attack the rest of the course without distraction.
That's your third win of the season in the Mazdas. Do you reckon you could get it done next week at Fontana? What's your experience of that Auto Club Speedway?
0. So it's gonna take some practice to make sure it's not my second throwaway for the season. I already used last week's debacle as a drop week, I'm sure, when it's over. So definitely get some hours in, log the practice time, and make sure I'm ready.
Right. Well, just before we let you go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anybody?
After a race like this, I feel the biggest thanks goes to the racers at either door. Brian and Robert, as always, it's just fantastic racecraft, and I'm sure it looks good to watch it back when I get a chance. So I can't wait to see how you guys broadcast it, and thanks for that as always to Kevin, Jeff, everyone at Ricmotech, and Extreme 99 and TD's Tree Service for putting this together and another stellar season.
Well, we couldn't call who was going to win it. In the end, it was that tight between you three, and yeah, you leave here the winningest driver this season in the Mazda. So hopefully you can continue that form into Auto Club, and thanks for taking the time to come and speak to us.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, actually, I do have to make an apology because we haven't really mentioned TD's Tree Service tonight. So sorry, Travis. We kind of messed up on that one, but we'll make sure that one doesn't happen again. But yeah, great race, and I enjoyed this one a lot. What about yourself, Adam?
Yeah, I think that's probably one of my favourite races of the season so far. I reckon. Really enjoyed that one at Barber today, and yeah, let's see if we can carry it through to Fontana, where, looking at the track map, I think we could be in for a treat. So yeah, looking forward to that one next week.
Alex, just a little word before we go. You obviously watched that whole race as well. We really enjoyed it. What did you make of it?
Yeah, good race. I thought, this would be a good one. So overtaking not so straightforward here, and it was a good battle in the MX-5, and yeah, it was close at the end, wasn't it, in the Mustangs? And like you guys said, really, those first few laps were key for Mike. He needed to, when he lost the lead, he needed to sort of fall in second place rather than third. And just to show you that first corner, it is a tricky one here, and I've seen lots of people go off. The pressure's on that first lap just to absolutely nail that, and it's fine margins there.
Most of the tracks, it wouldn't have mattered too much, would it? But here,
yep.
Makes it difficult. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Adam, as usual, for your contributions tonight. We head in about, oh dear me, how many hours is that? It's about 17 hours. We're going to be live with the BSR MX-5 series, and on Thursday night the Rallycross cars. And then that's it for our week. So we will be back at the end of Tuesday, as we are at the beginning of it. We've seen a great race here at Barber, and a couple of close shaves for the win. We'll see you next time.